What is going on, my friends? It's great to see you guys. My name is Ryan Williams, and it's probably no surprise at this point that stocks are just all over the place. Most of them are extremely high and expensive to buy right now, like Starbucks and Microsoft. And then you have others like Robinhood, who just IPO'd. It was down 8% one day, then up 24% the next day. And I think today it's even down another 10%. And it really makes you wonder, how can I invest in stocks right now when everything is just seemingly so swingy or so expensive? I mean, is there even any value to be found in the stock market right now? And my answer to that is, come on guys, there's always value to be found in the stock market, especially in the realm of dividend stocks, which brings me to the topic of today's video. In this one, guys, we are going to be talking about one of my favorite dividend stocks, which has like over an 8% dividend yield and is currently down almost 9%, almost 10% probably by the time you're watching this video, just in the last month, making it a really good stock to pick up right now if you're looking for a discount. And before we get rocking and rolling, give this video a big thumbs up if you guys enjoy shopping in the clearance section, because if this stock was a t-shirt, that's where we would find it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for doing that. I'm sure you know at this point, but every like given on these videos really helps it get pushed out to more people on YouTube, which helps me continue to grow and expand the reach of this channel. So if you guys are liking these videos, which a lot of you guys are, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And now, without further ado, let's get into it. All right guys, so getting right into it, the stock we are going to be talking about in today's video is EPD, which the company behind EPD is Enterprise Products Partners, which is a company in the energy sector, and they are actually classified as an MLP, which stands for a Master Limited Partnership. I'm not going to get too much into what that is in this video, but it is important for you guys to know that investing in MLPs is just a little bit different than investing in other regular dividend paying companies like Coca-Cola or Apple or JP Morgan or stuff like that. There are both pros and cons to investing in MLPs, and if you guys are interested in learning more about them, I recently put out a video where I go completely in depth on these master limited partnerships on my channel. I will include the link to that video in the description below. I think it would be an important watch for you guys if you're at all considering investing into MLPs. At any rate, you should definitely do some research on these before buying any of these MLP companies like EPD. Now moving on, what exactly does EPD do? I mentioned that they're in the energy sector, but how do they make their money? Well, EPD is a midstream company in the energy sector, and when it comes to investing in energy stocks, there's downstream, there's midstream, there's upstream. EPD is right in the middle, and essentially they work to transport and store some of the raw energy materials like natural gas liquids, NGLs, crude oil, and petrochemical products. And they do this through various means, which, as you guys can see on the screen here, EPD owns and oversees 50,000 miles of pipeline across the country to transport the products we just mentioned, the NGLs, the crude oil, the petrochemical products. They use this 50,000 miles of pipelines to send it from one place to another. Next, they also have a salt dome storage facility, which is exactly what it sounds like, guys. It's an actual cavern made of salt, and that can store 260 million barrels of NGLs, refined products, and crude oil, and also can store 14 billion with a B, cubic feet worth of natural gas, which is just a huge amount of storage. EPD also has 22 natural gas processing plants, 23 fractionators, which fractionation in a nutshell is a separation process to extract certain components from the products that they transport. I don't know a whole lot about fractionation, to be honest with you guys. I'm still learning about it myself, but it does seem to be a component of what EPD does, so it's worth mentioning. Last but not least, EPD also has various deep water docks to help create consistent transportation for some of the offshore drilling companies they work with, which would actually be considered the upstream part of the oil and gas supply chain. Now, I know that was a lot of information to throw at you guys at one time, so if you have any questions about anything we've covered so far, feel free to hit me in the comments below. I'm happy to try to answer them. In fact, doing so helps me learn a little bit more about this stuff, so I completely encourage you guys to ask questions in the comments. It's awesome. And moving on, guys, let's now jump over to Seeking Alpha and check out some of the fundamentals, some of the stats behind the EPD stock. Now, as you guys can see on the screen, at the time I'm recording this video, EPD is priced at $22.46 per share. And, you know, the performance of this stock could be a little bit better. In the last month, they're down almost 9%, which is the reason we're talking about it today. As I mentioned, this stock is at a huge discount. Okay, they're down almost 9%, actually probably closer or above 10% by the time you're watching this video. So super discounted in the last month. And if you guys stick around to the end of this video, we'll go into exactly why they're at such a discount right now. So that's how EPD has been performing in the last month. And if we switch screenshots real quick, we can see that they've performed a lot better across longer periods of time. So in the last 6 months, they're actually up almost 9%, up 8.77%. And then in the last year, EPD has really jumped up almost 28%. So they've done pretty well overall as far as performance goes. The stock seems to appreciate pretty well. But looking over to the right-hand side of the screenshot here, we can see that EPD has a forward PE ratio of 10.13, which makes it pretty dang affordable. And I'll tell you what, even prior to the recent dip in share price, even before they dropped almost 9%, EPD was still an affordable company to buy, but now it's a steal, guys. It's not even funny how affordable EPD is. All right, guys, now switching gears a little bit, what we are looking at now is some of the financials for EPD. And let's take a look at their levered free cash flow first. This is a pretty important metric to look at. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with what levered free cash flow is, Investopedia.com defines it as the amount of cash a business has after it has met its financial obligations. And jumping back over to the financial screenshot, we can see that EPD's levered free cash flow is a little bit spotty. Okay, it was down considerably in 2016. Okay, 2017 and 2018 were good years, and then barely down in 2019, and it has since made its way back up in 2020. But what's important, guys, we want to see this levered free cash flow increasing, or at least positive, because that's what they use to pay the dividends, or in MLP's case, that's what they use to pay the distributions. Now, looking a little bit below that, guys, let's take a look at the free cash flow per share. So contrary to the levered free cash flow, we can see that the free cash flow per share seems to increase with each year. So 2016 all the way through 2020, the free cash flow per share has increased, which actually is pretty good news for the dividend. The more free cash flow they have, the more likely they'll continue to pay the dividend and furthermore continue to grow the dividend, which is obviously good news for us. And that brings us to the next point. Let's talk about some of EPD's dividend stats, which are actually pretty dang impressive. As you guys can see right now, EPD has a forward dividend yield of 8.01%, which is very high. That's a super high dividend yield. Next, they have a payout ratio of 81.58%, which usually we would look at and consider that to be very high, but MLPs can actually get away with having a higher payout ratio because they can get away with paying more of their cash flow to investors, because MLPs don't actually pay taxes at the entity level, which is one of the cool things about them. This is something I cover a little bit in my MLP video, which once again is in the description of this video if you guys want to give that a watch. Moving on, back to the dividend, they have a 5-year growth rate of 2.71, which is actually pretty low, but considering the dividend yield is so high, at least to me, this is not as big of a concern. And then they also have 22 years of consecutive dividend growth, which is awesome. We want to see that growth. That's so important. And that indicates that the dividend is in pretty good shape. Okay, they're continuing to grow it for 22 plus consecutive years, and hopefully they will continue to grow it well into the future. At least it's looking that way. So I don't know about you guys, but I think EPD has some pretty strong financials. At least from what I know about this stuff, it looks pretty good to me. And it begs the question, why is it down so much? What is the reason that this stock is down almost 9-10% in the last 30 days, in the last month? It's a great question, actually, especially considering how positive their recent Q2 earnings were. To give you some more insight on this, let's read a little snippet from this Yahoo Finance article I found. And the article reads, essentially more or less in the first paragraph here, we can see that their earnings per share beat the estimated earnings per share by 1 cent. In the second paragraph here, we can see that total quarterly revenues for EPD surpassed estimates. And then in the third paragraph, it reads, the strong quarterly results can be attributed to higher contributions from the partnership's natural gas processing business and increased pipeline transportation volumes in petrochemical and refined products services. I mean, this all sounds like pretty positive stuff. So again, why is the stock down so much? And if we continue on in the article, we can actually gain a little bit more insight on this. The article reads, again, despite the strong earnings results, the partnership's stock price declined 2.7% since the earnings announcement on July 28th. Investors believe that industry growth is unlikely to witness a significant acceleration in the medium term on the anticipation of continued volatility in the energy business as coronavirus variants are spreading rapidly across the major economies. Okay, so it's these new variants that are causing all this drama, and so those are going to have an effect on anticipated oil prices, which then are going to affect the share price of companies like EPD and probably other energy companies as well. And honestly, this sounds like a temporary issue to me, guys, which is why I'm not really so worried about this drop in share price and why I don't believe you should be either. In fact, from what we've learned today about EPD, and feel free to disagree with me in the comments below, but from what we've seen about this company today, it's looking like a great time to buy a great company that pays a super high dividend, that has been growing that dividend for 20 plus years and seemingly will continue to grow it. And that, guys, is my take on the current state of EPD, and that's about all I got for you. So with that said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you are still with me here at the end of this video, please do me a couple things. Number one, if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this content. Okay, number two, leave me a comment below. What do you think about EPD? Are you a fan? You gonna buy it? You gonna hold off? You're not into MLPs? Let me know what you think of this company in the comments below. And actually, I will ask for a third thing. If you really did enjoy this content and are not sick of seeing my face or hearing my voice quite yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well so you can stay up to date on all future videos. I'm putting out videos specifically on dividend investing twice per week. I upload every Wednesday and every Sunday, so there's a lot of great content coming your guys' way. And I would love to have you along for my dividend investing journey. But that's all I got for you guys, okay? I will now get out of your hair, okay? Thank you once again so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.